what I've been telling people is we need to prevent the second disaster.
Counties in the wildfire recovery zones are in a race with Mother Nature, rain and burn scars, a potential recipe for disaster.
We simply couldn't have done it without mutual aid.
They've pulled through one wildfire disaster after another. Lake County and their resilience, how do they keep doing it?
While I'm comfortable, I am not complacent.
And a month into the largest wildfire disaster in California's history. Just how is progress coming along? All that and more on this edition of Inside Look. Hello, I'm Sean Boyd. Thanks for watching. It is full speed ahead with recovery in areas of California devastated by the October wildfires. Now, the first winter storms are moving through those same towns and counties, putting officials and crews in a race against Mother Nature. She threatens with a full bag of potential hazards like debris flows and mudslides, flooding, and toxic runoffs from burn scars into watersheds. But recovery teams are not waiting for the hammer to fall. They're anticipating the worst, mobilizing for them, and are ready for whatever comes their way. Rain is falling. Normally, that's a good thing.
Right now we have some weather out there, and the weather is gonna slow the progress down.
Sean Smith is the state lead for the Debris Removal Task Force. He's coordinating the Cal OES effort to clean the thousands of properties burned to rubble so homeowners can rebuild as soon as possible. But rain is putting a damper on progress, and it could also put crews in danger.
Sometimes we have to stop work in certain areas due to the threats of water flows or debris flows that will come off of the burn scars. So those areas that we've looked at that are high hazards, the teams will back off of those while the rain's coming down hard, but then they'll be right back in there working as soon as the rain lets up.
Some of that work includes scoping out the 42 miles of pipe in Fountain Grove and Coffey Park that allow stormwater to drain and prevent flooding. Caltrans is finding that pipes were in fact damaged during the wildfires and need repairing fast before the heavy winter rains create a second disaster.
I go back to Santa Barbara, I think roughly a decade ago. They had fires similar to what occurred here, similar time of year, and Southern California got hit with a bunch of rain, and they had mudslides and debris torrents right after the fires. So it was a second disaster happened, just back to back. That community just got hammered.
And that's a situation he's working to prevent, along with his Sonoma County Water Agency partner, James Jaspers.
So these atmospheric rivers are the storms that we're most concerned about. So we have to be vigilant when these storms hit, that we are responding in the right places with the right equipment in a timely manner.
Well, there are things you can do to minimize the effects of debris flows on your property and to the watershed. Once again, here's Nathan Quarles with Sonoma County.
Cover the debris pile with tarps or hay. Do a perimeter control with straw wattles or a silt fence. There are BMP, best management practices, guidebooks out there. Just Google stormwater BMPs or Google a silt fence. There are certain ways you need to install them so that they're effective.
Meanwhile, there's no rest for those who live in Lake County. For the third year in a row, they've faced one wildfire after another. Their recovery just hitting stride before they're kicked again. Jonathan Goodell is in Lake County, where they're giving resilience a whole new meaning. John.
Yeah, that's right. Since 2015, no other county in California has been hit harder by wildfires than Lake County. From the Rocky and Jerusalem fires, then the Valley Fire, the Clayton Fire, and now the Sulphur.
Clear Lake Oaks, a sleepy lakefront community, is just the latest neighborhood devastated by a wildfire in Lake County.
What's going through my mind is we need to make sure that our people are safe. Things can be restored, vegetation is going to burn, homes are going to burn down, and that's very unfortunate, very sad. But the most important thing for us is to make sure we got people out safely, make sure we got animals out safely, and we're able to ensure the safety of our community.
In just the past 3 years, more than 20% of Lake County's acreage has burned.
It happens pretty quickly, and it's hard to get your thoughts together because it's just like you're in a panic mode, and it's like, save your life.
The fires have been among the worst the state has seen, especially for one county, but it could have been worse if not for the help of others.
We're a very small community. We have very limited amount of resources, and during these fires, it requires the response of hundreds of personnel, from fire services, from medical services, from recovery services, from law enforcement services. The mutual aid system that exists in California allows small rural counties like us to be able to get through these issues and to be able to recover from them. We simply couldn't have done it without mutual aid.
While more than 100 homes burned, Sheriff Martin credits his county's notification system for preventing any deaths.
Our notification systems, we have a very robust notification system. There is not a single system that will adequately notify every single person, so we use as many as we can with the wireless emergency alerts, with the emergency broadcast system, with the reverse telephonic notifications, our social media, our Nixle, everything that we have at our disposal we use when we have to make those notifications.
The next phase now shifts to recovery, and substantial progress is already being made in the cleanup efforts.
I don't think there's anybody in Lake County that doesn't know somebody that's personally lost a home during these fires, because they've impacted us so much over the years. So we all have friends and we all have family members that have lost something from the fires, and that's a very challenging thing to deal with.
For Lake County, the recovery process is ongoing and will be long-term. It's a process that these residents are all too familiar with. Sean?
And with each passing day, there are more and more signs of progress on that long road to recovery. With more on where we are now in the recovery process, here's Brian May.
Well, Sean, you said the key words, the long road to recovery. Here at the State Operations Center at Cal OES, the numbers are clear. Much work has been done. There is still much more to go.
The signs of progress are evident. But for those facing rebuilding, this truly is a marathon, not a sprint.
Recovery takes a long time.
Tina Curry heads up the multi-agency task force on housing for Cal OES.
The magnitude of this total loss so suddenly, and in an area of California that already had a shortage of housing for people, really makes this a tremendous challenge, and why we wanted to bring together people so they can start thinking about what tools do we have in the toolbox in state and federal government to help facilitate that.
Even before the fires hit, the available housing in Sonoma and Napa counties was right at 2%.
The most complex disaster I've ever worked. I've been with the agency since 2005. Going back from Katrina, Hurricane Sandy, the Iowa floods. When I came to this event, I realized two things. One, when I landed here, you see, oh, there's 7,000 homes destroyed. The good news is 91% have insurance, so they have additional living expense in their policy. The bad news is there's no way to spend it.
Meaning solutions to longer-term housing options are going to have to get creative.
Right now, if you lost your home, you're like, what's next? Where am I going to go live? Most people are probably living with families and friends, or they're living in hotels. But I think when they see a recreational vehicle or mobile home at a site and we move a family in, that's progress. That's progress of, you know what, I can now have a cup of coffee with my wife at the table. Somewhere, right. And then realize that's just the first step.
One of the programs that we have is called Transitional Sheltering Assistance. This is the hotel motel program.
Housing, just one of the issues being addressed as the long road to recovery is built, one day at a time.
Where we're at today, just a little over a month into this disaster, I feel very comfortable, but while I'm comfortable, I am not complacent, and I want to be clear that we are not out of the woods. We're still continuing to keep our throttle pushed forward, and we're going to continue to keep at this very diligently until all of the different cascading issues or impacts are addressed effectively.
For Cal OES, I'm Brian May.
All right, thank you, Brian. So we want to pass along some simple but valuable tips that you can use to help you and your neighbors recover from the October wildfires. If you chose not to take part in the Consolidated Debris Removal Program, be sure to submit your opt-out plan by the deadline, November 21st, and sign up for those local emergency alerts in case there is flooding or other emergencies. For Sonoma County residents, especially those in Fountain Grove, go to socoalert.com. That is socoalert.com. And we have other counties listed on our website, wildfirerecovery.org. Be sure to visit your disaster recovery center in your county if you have any further questions. And last but not least, help a neighbor in need. If you see someone struggling, offer help or find someone who can. We certainly don't want anyone to feel left alone. Well, that does it for this edition of Cal OES Inside Look. For all of us here, I'm Sean Boyd. Thank you for watching.
Visit our online newsroom at oesnews.com to learn more about this program and get the latest news and information from our team. Don't miss our next video on your Facebook timeline. Like our page and you'll get the latest posts as they happen. If you're an Instagram user, you can see the latest snapshots by following our Cal OES Instagram account. And Twitter users can get instant access to our tweets from across the state by following Cal OES.